Hi everyone. In this video, we'll be looking into a game between Grandmaster Maxim Vashyalagrave and Grandmaster Arjun Erigaisi from the Armageddon match in the final of Chess Masters Cup. Let's jump right into the game. MVL starting with the white pieces go for 1 e4. Erigaisi replies with e5, knight to f3, knight to f6, knight takes on e5, d6, knight to f3, knight takes on e4, d4, d5, bishop to d3, bishop to d6, MBL goes for castles, Erigaisi also castles, c4, c6, knight to c3, knight takes on c3, b takes on c3, d takes on c4, bishop takes on c4, bishop to f5, bishop to g5, queen to a5, knight to h4, bishop to e6, bishop takes on e6, queen takes on g5, knight to f3, queen to f5, bishop to h3, queen takes on c3, rook to b1, b6, queen to e2, queen to a5, d5, c takes on d5, knight to g5, h6. Here, guy sees upon 2 points of material. He is threatening to capture this knight as well. The only safe square for the knight here is this one. But Maxim Vashyalagrave will play a crazy move, which is knight takes on f7, sacrificing the full piece. The problem is that if the rook takes this knight, there is bishop to e6. That was the idea behind MVL's sacrifice. But the problem here is first he has to play the rook to b5, get more control of this rank. But before that, MVL goes for bishop to e6, and now this is a mistake. Erigaisi is having an advantage of minus 1.2, and he continues with knight to c6. Bishop takes on f7 with check, king takes on f7. Rook to b5, queen to c3, queen to h5 with check, king to f8, rook takes on d5, rook to d8, rook on f to d1, knight to e7. So now Ergaisi is attacking MBL's rook. So the right move for the rook is to move to d2. But instead, MBL pushes the rook to b5, and this is a blunder. And now Ergaisi's advantage increases further to minus 2. So the right continuation here for Ergaisi is to play queen to c2, attacking the pawn and threatening to capture this rook once the queen moves from this diagonal. But Ergaisi misses this and play bishop to c7, and his advantage decreases to minus 0.8. And MBL continues with rook to b3, rook takes on d1 with check, queen takes on d1, queen to e5, g3, king to g8, rook to e3, queen to c5, queen to b3 with check, king to h8, queen to e6, knight to f5, rook to f3, knight to e7, rook to f8 with check, king to h7, queen to e4 with check, knight to g6, rook to e8, bishop to e5, rook to e6, bishop to f6, h4, queen to d4, queen to f5, queen to c5, queen to b1, queen to d5, rook to e1, h5, rook to d1, queen to e6, queen to d3, queen to g4, king to f1, king to h6, queen to d2 with check, king to h7, queen to c2, king to h6, rook to d5, knight to e5, queen to d2 with check, king to h7, queen to c2 with check, king to h6, rook to d6, queen to c4 with check, queen takes on c4, knight takes on c4, rook to c6, knight to d2 with check. And here, after 54 moves into the game, match is pretty much balanced, and Ergais is having a small advantage of minus 0.6. So with the right play, MBL can end this game in a draw. But since this is an Armageddon, the draw will also favor Ergaisi as well. So the right continuation for MBL is to move his king to g2. But instead, he will move the king to e1, and this is a mistake. Now, Arjun Erigaisi is again having an advantage of minus 1.3. And he continues with knight to e4, rook to c4, knight to c3. Once again, knight is attacking this pawn. So the right continuation for MBL is to push the pawn to a4 and defend with the rook. But he misses this and he play a3 instead, and this is a mistake. And Arjun Erigaisi is having advantage of minus 1.7 now. And he continues with b5, rook to c6, a5, f3, king to h7, rook to c5. The move Erigaisi should play here to maintain his advantage is bringing the king to g6 and making it more active. But instead, he pushes to b4, and this is a blunder, and now the match is back to balance again. A takes on b4, a takes on b4. So here the right move for Maxim Vashyalagrave to continue this game in a balanced position is capturing this pawn with the check. And maintain equilibrium in the match. But instead he will go for king to d2 and Erigaisi is winning again. And he continues with king to g6, defending the pawn now. King to d3. Now here the right move for Erigaisi was to put the bishop to e7 and attack the rook and defend the pawn as well. But instead he plays knight to d1 and this is a mistake and the match is back to balance again. Rook to b5, bishop to c3, king to e2, knight to b2, g4, h takes on g4, f takes on g4, knight to c4. Once again, after 67 moves, Erigaisi is having a small advantage of minus 0.8. So right move for Maxime Vachier-Lagrave here is either to bring the king to d3 or to give a check with the rook to g5 check. These two are fine continuation to maintain this match in a balanced position. And the move MVL plays in this position was king to f3 and this is a huge mistake. And after this move, Erigaisi is having a totally winning advantage of minus 3.7. And I want you to pause this video for a moment and try to figure out why this move is a mistake from Maxime Vachier-Lagrave. Kudos if you are able to figure out the reason behind this move being such a grave mistake for Maxime Vachier-Lagrave. The reason is that now Erigaisi is having this dangerous pass pawn and it is guarded by this bishop. Now Erigaisi can push forward this pawn to b3. The problem is that even though this pawn is guarded by no pieces now, if MVL go ahead and capture this pawn here, then the game will be finished by knight to d2, forking the rook and the king, and this is curtains for Maxime Vachier-Lagrave. That's the reason why king to f3 was such a big mistake from MVL. And in the game, Erigaisi figure out the mistake from MVL and he continues the push to b3. And MVL continues with king to e4 and once again this is also another mistake from Maxime Vachier-Lagrave because he falls into Erigaisi's knight to d6, forking the rook and the king again, and it was in this position after 69 moves into the game Maxime Vachier-Lagrave resigned to Arjun Erigaisi and Erigaisi went on to win the Chess Masters Cup as well.